Second straight game where you got a fairly lopsided win. Considering you're coming off the break for exams, what were your overall thoughts on the way your team played?
Well, exactly. It's been 16 days since we played, so you never know how you're going to come out. But I thought we ran the ball well, especially at the beginning of the game. I thought we got some nice transition buckets, which we talked about that at the beginning of the game, and we had our moments. We had our dry spells and had some sloppy moments. I think the part that I'd like to change is the way we finished the game. I thought we were a little bit sloppy at the end, but then we had a lot of young players in that were trying to play together and get some minutes. But overall, it was nice to get that game after a 16-day layoff.
All right, you talk about the young players, but you also had another new face who you've been waiting on for a year. Keena Mays transfers in from Kansas, and in her debut, double-double, over 50% from the floor. What were your overall thoughts on her performance?
Well, as I've said all along, Keena is she's a real deal. She's a shooter and a scorer, which, you don't get that combination too much. You either get a shooter or you get a scorer, but she's an offensive punch out there. But I think what she gives us is she gives us confidence with her presence on the floor. She helps our transition game tremendously, and she's another guard that can rebound. And she can rebound and get it and go, and she has a presence out there. And a couple times today as I watched her, it was interesting because we played her quite a bit today. She hadn't played in a year, and there's a huge difference between practice minutes and game minutes. But she got tired a few times, but I thought she hung in there pretty good.
All right, it was her first game, but it's not like putting a freshman in the lineup for the first time. She has practiced with you for a year. Did you see anything tonight from Keena that surprised you?
She does a lot of things in practice. Although I liked her little one-handed tip. She got a little swagger to her game. That's what I like about kids. I like when they come out on the floor and you got to have a little swagger. You can tell she's confident with the basketball, and I like when you have a player like her that's draining threes and hitting threes and hitting outside shots like that's going to take a lot of pressure off Fillmore, which a lot of pressure has been on Phil to score. Keena's she's gonna make other players better. You saw her today in transition make a couple of nice long bounce passes into our post, cutting, making the rim cut. I mean, she's going to find players. She's going to see players, and sometimes when you play like that, you're also going to make some mistakes. You're going to overthrow the ball, or you're going to, because that's your game. Your game is a little bit, I don't want to say risky, but it's not a conservative. She doesn't play a conservative type of game. So, and she has to understand that. She has to understand she's going to make some mistakes because she hasn't played in a year. I got on her today a little bit for not dropping defensively because I think she's a little bit tired. She got caught standing. It's different. It's game as opposed to practice.
When you add a player like this who gets considerable minutes like she does, is it harder for you as a coaching staff or for her teammates to adjust to the new rotation and fitting all the pieces together?
Oh, it's not hard for me at all. but now we actually had we had two players out. Of course, Chris Nasky wasn't dressed today, and Gabby Wilkins really didn't play today because she was sick. So she really only got a couple minutes. So we really didn't have as many players to rotate. What it'll help me rest Alicia Fillmore a little bit more. And she needs to rest a little bit and go in and be fresh. We've been playing Phil a lot of minutes, and we've had a lot of we put a lot of pressure on her to defend and to score. So I think she'll really complement Alicia Fillmore's game.
We can talk a lot about Keena Mays, but not to be overlooked, Destiny Hives-McC gave you another double-double tonight. Talk a little about her progress and what you've seen from her, and maybe how she and the other post players will benefit from the improved talent on the perimeter.
Well, Destiny runs the floor well. She did. I told Destiny on the bench. I said I felt like two things she did very well today, amongst other things. But she ran the floor well, and Keena found her a couple times. She does a good job of beating her post players down the floor, and she rebounded well, especially offensively. I like when she's hitting the boards because she can jump with anybody out there, and her pursuit of the ball is very good. I just need her to continue to work on her defense, improve her defense, working on defense. Those are the things that we've kind of been working on with Destiny. But the other thing is knocking down those little free throw shots that she has. She's gotten a number of little jumpers at the free throw line, and she's a good shooter. She's just got to catch and not think about it. Catch and shoot instead of catch and think.
Will the boost to the perimeter game and the transition game allow you to even out on the rebound battle as well?
I'm not happy with that today. Like I said, that group, the group that played that last 5 or 6 minutes gave up a number of offensive rebounds and a number of fouls. So, that's something we talked about. And as I told these guys after the game, I said, you would expect a coach to be happy after a game like that, but when we finished, we were sloppy. We fouled too much at the end, and we gave up too many offensive rebounds. So we got to learn to put teams away. That is something, when we get leads, we got to have more of a killer instinct, and we're not there yet.
That being said, you mentioned the 16-day layoff. How nice was it for you as a coach to be able to sit some of your starters in the last few minutes when you got another game in 48 hours?
Well, that was in my mind. At one point, Danny looked down and said, "Hey, have you forgotten about Phil?" I said, "No." I said, we were up 25 at the time, and it was about 6 minutes to go, and I knew I wanted to keep her out and keep her fresh for Wednesday because we turn around and play. So that was nice to be able to rotate players today. Now, if we are not as sharp, if we are not sharper Wednesday, Stephen F. Austin's going to take advantage of it because they're a good team.